Sadiq Khan is not having a good day. A former police officer is blowing the lid on the predominantly Muslim grooming gangs that's going to end him. Hey up everyone and welcome to Political Nerds. I'm Steph the Alter Nerd, your nerdy political guide from Washington DC to Westminster and beyond. Now of course, before I jump into this, the usual disclaimer: do your own research, come to your own conclusions, and I'm not inciting hatred to anyone or particular group, religion, etc. So let's jump into it first and foremost with this. So you guys may remember a few months ago now that I did an amateur linguistic analysis on this particular clip I'm about to show you of Sadiq Khan being confronted with a question about predominantly Muslim grooming gangs in London.
I asked you this question last week and you found every which way but not to answer it. Just how many grooming gangs have we got in London?
To avoid any misunderstanding, can she define what she means by that?
Yes, if you look at what's gone on in Rotherham, where there are people taking young girls, grooming them for sex, that is what I'm talking about.
We know in London there are issues about exploitation of young people, but they're not as defined by the member in her definition of what those types of gangs are.
Now, through my analysis in my video right here from a couple of months ago now, I came to the conclusion that Khan's refusal to answer the question, his evasiveness, suggested that he knew more than he was letting on about the predominantly Muslim grooming gangs in London. And now, Sadiq Khan is not having a good day right now, because here we go with this. A former police officer is now blowing the lid on the predominantly Muslim grooming gangs that's really going to end him at this point. Let's have a gander at this clip right here, an Express exclusive.
Nervous to say what she means. What do you mean?
He's dangerous, and he should not be. He is the donkey that is leading the lions.
I'm unclear, Chair, what is meant by the question. If you could spell it out, I can answer.
I've just spelt it out.
This guy is failing society's most vulnerable. He should be removed.
Can she be clear what she means by that? I'm not clear what she means.
How much clearer do you want me to be?
Oh, man. The Met Police is doing that. It's doing that and that.
It's not just the Met Police. It's the whole freaking institution. All the police forces across the country, the councils, the Labour dictatorship, they're all doing this, and that.
My name's John Wedger. I'm a retired Metropolitan Police detective. I specialised in child abuse investigations, and I'm more sort of well-known or come to prominence for my role as a whistleblower for my part in speaking out about the police's and government's deliberate cover-up of what I will term child prostitution.
We need more whistleblowers to come out at this point.
I went, after leaving the Metropolitan Police's advice unit, where I dealt with child prostitution, where I'd actually uncovered kids there on an industrial scale from the age of 9 to 14 that were being trafficked for prostitution. They were being sold in crack houses in the mornings. They would be swapped for 9, 10 cracks, rocks of crack apiece. From there, they'd be taken to hotels that did a rental by an hour. And usually the people that would go in there to have sex with the children were builders that were away from home, that were working in central London. After that, the kids would then be taken to upmarket Arab restaurants in Mayfair, around the Curzon Street area, where they would be traded for as much as £2,000 each. And that was happening.
How can Sadiq Khan not know that this is happening right underneath his nose in London?
on a daily basis. This was circa 2004 to 2007, when I submitted intelligence reports of what was going on. I was threatened by a senior officer for Scotland Yard telling me that if I ever mentioned what I'd uncovered, I would lose my home, my job and my children. I would be thrown.
I believe that. I believe that. Because what has been one of the running themes all along throughout this whole disgusting saga, that the institutions, the police force, the council, the government, they didn't dare tackle the grooming gangs. Why? Because they were predominantly Muslim. They didn't want to tackle them because they didn't want to be seen as freaking racist. And they didn't want to lose votes either from the politicians' perspective. And I'm looking at the Labour dictatorship right now for that one.
Thrown to the wolves, and it must not and will not ever get out. If it does, it will. The Metropolitan Police, past, present and future, it will never ever get out.
The Met Police, the whole system is all effed up anyway. Needs to be completely rebuilt from the ground up again. Because by my estimations and my expectations, I think it's very reasonable to think that the police should be protecting the most vulnerable, right? They should be protecting the victims rather than the perpetrators, the criminals. But what we're seeing here is the other way around. The police, the institution, the government, the councils, they've been more focused on protecting, quite literally, the child rapists than the child victims. And here's one hero, ex-police officer, coming out publicly being a whistleblower. And he's not only a hero for doing that, but he's also a hero for trying to save these child victims in the first place when he was in the police force. Like he just said, he got threatened. His family got threatened. His life, his job got threatened. If he continued his investigation any further, he'd lose it all. How disgusting that is for a senior member of the Met Police Force and Scotland Yard to threaten that against a police officer that's literally just doing his job, investigating the criminals to try and protect the victims. But for the police force, the institution, the councils, the government, yeah, apparently that doesn't apply when the criminals are Muslim and the victims are children. For some reason, it doesn't apply there. Who knows why, right, guys? Disgusting, disgusting.
After that, I left that unit. That case had 36 young children that were all subject to care orders that were, like I said, from the age of 9 to 14 that were being pimped out. Every single one was harbouring a Class A drug addiction, and many had life-threatening diseases relating to their lifestyle, such as HIV, AIDS, hepatitis C, and contagious tuberculosis.
And again, I believe all this. Why? Because when you look on X, people are sharing newspaper headlines from years ago, right? And some of the headlines, they're saying like, child prostitute caught with like 6 of her lovers or something along those lines. The mainstream media, right, termed the child victims of predominantly Muslim rape gangs as child prostitutes. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely believe this dude. It's all what he's saying is tracking with what's already out there at the moment.
Nothing was being done to help these kids. Social services were fully aware of it. The police were aware of it, and I had documented evidence that the Metropolitan Police's dedicated vice unit that was set up to deal with juveniles at risk of prostitution had known about this scenario for the past 15 years and had done nothing. One of the homes, if I can find it, I just found it a minute ago. It had here, this one here. I spoke to a guy in there called Andre. He was the manager of the home. I said, how many kids you got? He said 6. I said, and how many do you lose at the weekend to prostitution? And out of the 6, he said 5. Social services knew about it. The police's missing persons knew about it. Nothing was ever done about it. Nothing was ever done. One of the boys that was involved, he was in such advanced stages of AIDS, a young boy in his very, very early teens, subject to a care order, placed into a care home for his own safety. He was being picked up and he was being pimped out. This boy was so sick, he sometimes had to be carried into a car, an awaiting car, to be taken off to be pimped out. And he had open sores in his, relevant areas. And as far as I'm aware, he died shortly after his name was provided. Within 10 minutes, I found 10 children. 10 children that were being pimped out. Children under the age of 16. Children vulnerable to start with that were placed into care. By the end of the 3rd day of doing this, I found 52 children. 52. I held a meeting with all concerned agencies, so NGOs, social services, well-known charities, children's charities, well-known ones.
I emphasize again,
Sadiq Khan cannot say that he didn't know about the predominantly Muslim rape gangs that are operating in London. He cannot, in that original clip that I showed you, turn around and ask, what do you mean by rape gangs? What's the definition of that? No, he knows. He knows what they are. He knows they're operating in London. They all know. They all know. They all know. One of the evidence is that we've got that they all know, including Sadiq Khan, is that police officer, ex-police officer, that hero that is now turned whistleblower. And he's shedding more light on the corruption and the cover-up, all to protect the predominantly Muslim rapists, instead of protecting little underage children from these monsters. They've got the priorities a little bit wrong there, don't you think? Right, guys? Now, the next mayor of London, Ant Middleton, he summed it up all perfectly by saying the following: zero accountability. He must be sacked with immediate effect, especially after playing dumb and playing with young British girls' lives. Surely he must go. Yeah, this police whistleblower speaking out, this has to end Sadiq Khan and his mayoral reign over London. The only next course of action that Sadiq Khan has got is to resign. Because this proves to me that Sadiq Khan knew all along. He can't play dumb anymore. He can't be asking, oh, what are grooming gangs? Can you give me a definition? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. No, he knew all along. This has to end his mayoral reign in London at this point. Done and dusted, end of. With that being said, if you appreciated this video and you want more, and unfortunately with the state of the UK at the moment, there's going to be more, then make sure you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe here at Political Nerds. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Steph Alter Nerd. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. Do you think this whistleblower speaking out should end Sadiq Khan's mayoral reign in London? I think it should. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters.